Vladimir Putin.
Hi, my name is Kevin Esposito.
Mike
Welcome
Jones.
to therapy. First off, I just wanted to go over the informed consent. I know you got the form before and have read it over, I hope, but I'd like to go over it before we start, and just so you understand everything, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. First off, I'm a therapist at Boston Therapy Center. I work with many other therapists ranging in different qualifications and specialties. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. I'm glad to answer them. For confidentiality, everything we talk about in these sessions will be confidential. The information will not be released anywhere. It'll just be between you and I. I will keep paperwork, but it will be locked away in my office for only my eyes and if you ever want to see it. This information may be used in teaching purposes, but your name and everything will be changed and you'll be unidentifiable. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, if I'm unidentifiable.
Okay. My email is also on here if you ever need to contact me, but my phone number is the best way to reach me. My number is 555-5555.
Right.
It's pretty easy, so
I think I can.
hopefully you can remember it. The sessions will be digitally recorded. That is just for purpose of continued staff training and clinical supervision. There are risks and benefits to this type of therapy. We hope to fix any issues you have and get over the problems that court has sent you here for. We hope to change your behaviors and, yeah. That's about it for confidentiality for that. All the sessions will be covered by your insurance. And if you'd like to go, if more sessions are needed, we can talk to the insurance companies and try and get it covered by insurance, or it may have to come out of pocket if that's possible. But we will figure that out down the road. It is we follow all the HIPAA rules, which is mostly about confidentiality and privacy of our patients. And as you're one of our patients, we must follow that. And if you miss any appointments, there may be a charge, but we will talk about that as well. It'd be very helpful for you to just give us a heads up if you can't make it.
Of course.
Sounds great. All right, let's get started on your treatment. Or, on your therapy or something. You filled out this intake assessment form, right?
I did.
All right, I just wanted to go over with you, ask a few questions, clarify some stuff. I may write things down, but that is completely just for me. And if you have any questions about what I'm writing down, please feel free to ask.
That's great, Doc.
All right, so full name is Mike J. Jones.
Yep, correct.
All right. You live in Boston?
Yep.
You were born in 1987, so that makes you 26 years old.
Fresh to 26.
Very nice. It says here you were referred by a doctor and a judge. Could you explain that a little bit?
Oh, well, I was driving around with my kids one day, and we just hit the track, you know. I left them in the car while I went to the track, got wasted, lost a bunch of money at the track. You know, driving home with them, spot check, pulled over. Guy clearly smelled the booze. He said, "You reek of alcohol," quote unquote, and you have 3 children in the car. He proceeded to do the test, apparently failed, got a DUI. They drove my kids to home, and I had to go to court, and now I'm here.
All right. How long ago was this?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about that further. Thank you for that. So you attended Boston University for a semester after high school?
Yeah. I went to BU for a semester.
Yeah.
Didn't last long.
Now you dropped out?
Yeah, much harder than I had anticipated. College. It's college thing. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
What were you studying?
I don't even remember.
Don't you remember?
No, it's filled with booze. I don't think I ever got to declare my major.
Was school a concern for you just growing up? Like, were you excited to go to college, or was it just you got in, so you went?
Got in because I went. And, applied out of sheer, might as well just apply,
Yeah.
I like Boston. Lived here my whole life. Might as well apply to BU. Got in. Not a huge concern after, though.
All right. So did you regularly attend classes?
Oh,
No, it was mostly just.
I had a bunch of morning classes, a bunch of late classes. Morning classes I couldn't wake up for. Drank so much the night before. Night classes I was drinking, so I didn't go.
Were you drinking regularly during college?
Yes.
How many days a week do you think?
7.
7 days a week, every day?
Out of 7.
Were you drinking a lot every day, or is it just a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, what's considered a lot nowadays?
I mean, binge drinking is considered 5 or more drinks 5 times a month. So you think you were going over that?
I probably had 5 or more drinks every 5 hours.
Every 5 hours.
Yes.
So you were drinking heavily since you've been around 18.
As long as I was awake.
All right.
Since I was 18, since I was 16.
16 you started drinking.
Yeah. I had my first sip of booze, I was 14 years old probably.
Oh, wow.
Never looked back.
Did you start drinking regularly at 14, or?
Not regularly, but, started hanging out with the older kids in high school. Went to parties. Still got into college, thought it wasn't affecting anything. But eventually, let me hear.
All right. We will we'll also go back to that. I'm just going to keep going through this form if that's all right.
Proceed.
It says here you were married for 6 years.
Correct.
And you got divorced 2 months ago. Could you...
Marriage.
You
want me to elaborate on my marriage?
Yeah, was that due to the arrest and the DUI endangering your children, or was that separate?
The DUI was definitely the straw that broke the camel's back. For 6 years, she's always been on my back about it. You drink too much. You're never here. And when you are, you're drunk. You go into the bars all the time. I don't even know who you're with at the bars. You're always wasted whenever I see you. You wake up in the morning and I can see you pouring anything in your coffee that'll get you drunk. You talk to your kids. They say you smell weird. You smell like alcohol. And then finally, when I had 3 kids in the car, our 3 kids, obviously she didn't want me around them driving.
So, would you say alcohol has been the root of most problems in your marriage?
Yes. Other than alcohol, my wife and I meshed,
Very close.
Other than that, but honestly, I was drunk the whole time. How am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
She said some mean things when getting divorced. I probably said some mean things. I was drunk. And started drinking even more.
All right. Have you ever thought about not drinking and trying to fix things with your wife?
Halfway through marriage, she took me to some AA meetings. I thought I was going to start the whole program, try to get like a year chip or whatever 12-month chip, whatever they talk about there. A couple meetings in, the stories that people were telling me were just pissing me off, so left. Couldn't find a sponsor that wanted to stick with me, so.
How long would you say you stayed there?
A week. I went to 3 meetings, and then I kept telling my wife I was heading to the meetings, but I'd actually be going to drink.
You're going to the bar?
Yeah. I was hitting every bar that would have me. Got kicked out of most of the bars for being too drunk, so I've explored many of the bars downtown.
All right. It says here you have 3 children.
Correct.
Jim, John, and Janae.
Yep.
Could you just tell me a little bit about them, your relationship with them?
I love my children. I would love to have them back. That's my main reason for coming.
So you would stop drinking to get your kids back?
For my children, yes.
For
I'm not about to let alcohol ruin my relationship with my kids, especially at such a young age. They need a father figure for the rest of their life.
Did you have a father figure growing up?
My father was always there, but he was also a heavy drinker. Heavy. Like, I remember him coming home many nights and just screaming at my mother. All of my brothers and sisters, me, and just being completely belligerent all the time. And I remember telling myself, grow up, and I would never be a father like him. But obviously, I'm in this situation now, and I actually did not have a good relationship with him ever. At 18, I completely just distanced myself from him. Once I got to college, I said, that's it. This guy, not going to be like him. And it fell through. My mom got real depressed, attempted suicide, and that just hit the booze harder for me. My parents were all messed up. My family's messed up. And I just started drinking.
Do you think your dad and your mom's relationship with you was a reason that you started drinking at such a young age? Or was it just the environment that made you drink?
It could have been a little bit of both, I guess, because I didn't want to drink because I saw my dad and how he acted to my mother, how he acted to us. But at the same time, I was young, I was 14 years old, and I was thinking, these older kids going to a party, I'm not going to just stand there and not drink with them. And then I was having fun, I wasn't getting angry, and the anger and everything didn't really start till later, so I just kept on with it all throughout high school and college. Not as heavy until college, though, obviously.
All right.
But
it says here you have 2 brothers. Could you just tell me about your relationship with them? Are you guys close? Or?
Growing up, we were close. You know, we bonded tight over the fact that our parents were pretty messed up together. Our dad was an alcoholic. We used to have to, stick together when he came home because he would be belligerent and everything.
Right.
Completely intoxicated, and we would just hide away and, safety in numbers. And until recently, I haven't really spoken to them in a couple of years.
Do they know about your alcohol problem?
Yeah, they're the exact opposite of me. One's a Harvard grad, one's an MIT grad. Not alcoholics. They're always concerned. They told me 100 times they don't want to see me end up like Dad, and I think it was finally they just gave up.
Did you tell them about what happened with your children and your wife?
I have not spoken to them at all. They might, come down on me, pretty hard.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, I don't know if they've spoken to my ex-wife or not, but they know about the divorce. I don't know if they know it's because of DUI.
Do you think you will tell them eventually?
Yeah, probably.
If you're able to sober up.
Yeah. If this process goes as planned, then yeah.
All right. Who do you currently live with?
I currently live alone.
Alone?
Yeah. But
the same house that your children were in, or did you move out?
I moved out to a studio apartment.
Okay, so you gave them the house?
Yeah.
Right.
As soon as we got divorced, we were in a studio apartment over on Jamaica Plain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you currently work? Do you have? It says here that you were working, but the whole arrest kind of ended that, and the job let you go.
The job that I was working was for an insurance company, just representing. Not even really. I like to tell people that, but I was pretty much in the mailroom. It's the only job I could really get.
Did you?
And yeah, got a DUI, and they told me that I need to leave.
How long were you there for?
I don't know.
A couple years?
Yeah, about a year and a half, 2 years.
All right.
I hated it.
Hated it?
Yeah, I was 25-year-old guy, 24-year-old guy delivering mail to people that were either younger than me or my age.
All right.
Looking down on me, condescending, made me want to drink even more. I was drunk half the time I was there.
So it was it almost forced you to drink more?
Yeah, definitely. I hated that place.
Do you think the amount of money you made there more went towards your kids or towards alcohol?
I'd give it Um, yeah, 60-40 to
So
booze.
All right, so you still provided for your children, but most of it went to
Yeah,
the alcohol?
it was a mailroom salary. Wasn't pushing it. It bought me 30 rack every day.
All right.
That's about it. But my wife definitely brought in the bacon.
What does your wife do?
She's a teacher.
Oh, she's a teacher?
Yeah, she's a high school teacher. Teaches I don't even remember.
You don't even know? All
I
right.
don't even remember at this point.
But her salary was
Yeah.
more than enough for the children?
Yep.
That's good.
Worked summers, took the summer school courses so she could pay for everything.
How'd that make you feel?
I hated not being the guy that could provide for his family. Like, the whole, you want to make more in your life.
Have you ever considered going back to school, or is that not an option for you?
I hated school at the end, the lower half. I didn't mind it in high school. College was way too hard, so I don't think I could last 3 or 4 years of that.
There's plenty of professions that don't need college education.
Yeah, I found one in the mailroom. They didn't like it when I drank, though. I like to drink.
Would you consider ending your drinking habits to find a better job, maybe make more money and provide for your kids more?
Providing for my kids, yes. That's the only reason.
That's the main
push.
All right. I'd just like to go over some general health and mental health information. You said you rate your physical health around satisfactory. Do you work out a lot, or?
I played some pickup sports from time to time.
Yeah.
But usually I'm too hungover to work out regularly, or I'm too drunk. So
not much physical activity anymore?
Not a lot. No. I'll hit the courts every now and then over in Jamaica playing. That's about it.
Do you like to play basketball?
It's fun,
Does it take you away from drinking at all and the thought of drinking?
Not much takes me away from the thought of drinking, except for losing my kids.
All right. It says here you also have been suffering from headaches and anxiety recently. Has that been due to attempts to stop drinking and just feelings of withdrawal from the alcohol, or is this just unrelated?
I think that anxiety is mostly related to the fact that I had trouble trying to quit drinking, and now I need to get my kids back.
Right.
And I'm fearing not being able to, get them back and be able to quit drinking. Am I going to be stuck in this position for the rest of my life and their lives?
That's a fear that many people that have addiction think about.
Yeah.
So it's not uncommon, and you should just keep working at it. And if you keep coming to these sessions, we will have progress. And if you work on the homework I give you, you will make progress.
That's what I'm looking for.
All right. So you're committed to the change?
100%.
All right. That's what I like to hear. Have you ever had any sleep problems recently?
If there is any off chance I go to sleep sober, I don't remember the last time that's happened, but yeah, definitely hard to sleep if I'm not drinking.
Okay.
I'm a little anxious at night too.
Has this anxiety and inability to sleep sometimes increased since you've lost your children, or
Definitely.
You've definitely tried to stop drinking some nights? And
there's been nights where I can't afford to go to the bar or get alcohol, and I sit there and I'm sober, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Does that give you headaches? And
yeah.
It's not a good time?
Not awful time when I'm trying to sleep.
Has it improved at all, or have you just gone right back to drinking when you got the amount of money?
When I got the money, I'd go right to the store or the bar.
All right. Have you been experiencing any sadness, grief, depression, anything like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Could you expand on that?
First hint of depression definitely came when I went to school for the first time.
Yeah.
But subsided. Not my wife. I thought everything was going well. I thought I could control the drinking. I didn't think the drinking was a problem. And then after the DUI, after the last 6 years of just getting yelled at and then losing my kids now, the depression has definitely struck. I've never been this upset in my life as I am now without my wife and kids.
Does it make you not want to drink?
Yeah, but it's just hard to.
But you still
hard to
Still
get
hard
the sauce,
to break the habit.
Yeah.
All right. Have you additional drugs today?
If I can find the money.
You can find the money.
If I can find the money, I haven't been ashamed to use.
What types of drugs have you used?
I've been down, I go to bars a lot. I go to clubs or parties, wherever the booze takes me, and there's all types of drugs there. Cocaine, definitely had my fair share of that. Marijuana has been passed around, and I haven't passed up on it.
Would you say that is a problem you have, or has that occurred minimal times?
It's not a huge problem. I think it's just all booze. That's my take on it. Like if I'm sober and someone's gonna line something up for me, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I can say I'm gonna say no to that.
Okay, so you think that most of your drug use occurs while you've been drinking?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember a time when I'm sober and I sought drugs or did drugs.
Okay, so you think that if we can fight this alcohol problem, then the drug problems would be completely gone as well?
Yeah.
Okay. It says here that your father and grandfather also suffered from alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
I know you talked about your father, but were you close with your grandfather? Did you see this abuse?
My grandfather, our grandfather, definitely had the same impact on our father that our father had on us.
Right.
Obviously, it only affected me and my family, but yeah, our father used to tell stories about how his grandfather was an awful father, and we should be thankful that he's a great father to us. But clearly, he was intoxicated.
Okay. It also says that your father, grandfather, and mother suffered from depression. Do you think that your father and grandfather's depression furthered their drinking?
From my perspective, mine has, so probably theirs has. And the relationship my parents had, I know it made my father drink more too.
Okay.
Especially when my mother attempted suicide. That was I don't remember the last time my dad had been that drunk. Like, he's drunk a lot, but he was.
Does your mother drink?
Not a heavy drinker, but she will get drunk from time to time.
Okay. Is that when there's a problem going on, or is that just random occasion?
A mixture of both. Like, when she doesn't know what to do about our father, she'll get drunk sometimes too, and just try to drown it out.
All right. I just wanted to go over just some additional information about yourself, and just learn more about you before we really start treatment and get going. What do you consider to be some of your strengths? It says here you wrote none, but could you explain any for me? Could you?
I don't think I have any. My only strength, I think, right now is that I got to get my kids back, and I'm determined to do that.
Okay.
But other than that, I got no strengths.
All right. Well, I bet you have strengths, and we will understand them and learn about them throughout therapy, and this will be very influential in your stopping of drinking, because we'll understand your strengths and we'll focus on them, and that will be very helpful. It says here your only weakness is alcohol. Is that just the root of most of your weaknesses? Like, alcohol causes most of your problems?
Yeah, because I don't leave the house unless I'm drunk usually, or going to get drunk.
All right.
It's the root.
It says here that your main goal for therapy, even though it's court mandated, is to stop drinking and get your wife and kids back.
Correct.
So that is very, very helpful for me and yourself, because that's the motivation we need for you to come to every session and bring out of every session to complete our homeworks. And we'll go over the homework and the type of treatment we will follow in just a few minutes.
All right.
Sorry for all the questions. I hope it wasn't too much. Do you have any questions for me?
Just about the treatment.
All right.
See what's going to get me back my kids.
I take a CBT approach, which is a cognitive behavioral approach. Do you know anything about that?
Not much.
All right. Well, cognitive behavior therapy it focuses on the cognitive, which is like the mind, and behaviors, and like what you're doing. And for the cognitive part, we're going to try and understand why you've been drinking, the triggers that make you drink, and just to change these thoughts so you don't drink when you have these triggers. The behavior will be focused more upon changing your behaviors, doing new behaviors and activities to get away from drinking and doing all activities that are unrelated to drinking. We also work with relapse prevention training, which will be just to avoid drinking again, but if you do drink again, handling the relapse and not falling completely back into a relapse and drinking heavily again. But I will be here if any relapses happen, and you can always come back and just make the call, and we'll be happy to see you. We're also going to work on a detox, which, do you know what detox means?
Cleanse?
Cleanse, yeah, basically. We're going to, we'd like just to get all the alcohol out of your body and just clean you up as much as we can to start. And that'll make the therapy just that much easier, and the different activities that you're doing to avoid alcohol that much easier to do. I'd also like to talk to you about doing AA plus these one-on-one sessions. The AA would just be helpful because in a group with people that also suffer from the same problems, they could offer the support you need to keep going with these sessions and your homework. And I know it didn't work out the first time, but would you be opposed to that?
I would give it a try and try to stick with it at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll talk about that more as our sessions go on, and I'll help you get into the AA and find a sponsor and everything that you had trouble with before. Lastly, I'd just like to go over some homework before you leave. The homework is just things I want you to try and accomplish short-term and long-term throughout our session. Short-term, I'd just like you to work on finding activities, making a schedule of activities that you can do that are unrelated to alcohol. And I will help you make these schedule, and I'll help you figure out these plans. I know you like playing basketball, and I know you are currently unemployed, so maybe finding employment would be an activity, and just trying to be successful in this employment, stuff like that. And that could be a long-term goal. I'd also like you to try and hang out with people that you do not usually, I'd like you to hang out with people that you don't usually drink with, and avoid the people that you do drink with, because a lot of the times the people that you do drink with are the root of the problem, and if you're around them, you'll just start drinking, and we would hope to avoid that. But that's basically it for today. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, remember my number is 555-5555.
All right.